Hi everyone, this is Tuplex. Welcome back. So since the last episode, I downloaded the mod called Crafting Combinator so that I can set up some more intelligent recipe selection here in the smelting area. Now there doesn't seem to be any research required. Looks like the combinators are added to the circuit network research that we've already done. And basically it gives you two items. One is a crafting combinator and the other is a recipe combinator. So let me get rid of that. Let me make one of each of those to begin with so that we can take a look at them. So the recipe combinator is supposed to detect the recipe that is being used in the machine that it is pointing at. And when I say pointing at, I mean the terminals of the combinator need to be up against the machine. I think they do that because most of the models for crafting machines don't have any, they don't have wire hookups in the graphics. So I think they did it this way just to get around that. So you put the combinator next to the machine, and then there are some options. So here, read ingredients, read products, find recipes, multiply results by input count. Okay. So I think if we were to take a wire from here to there, we don't see anything. Read products. No. Read ingredients, read products. Okay. Well, I'm not sure what that one does then. I didn't play around with that one too much. The one that I did work with a little bit offline is the crafting combinator. And actually, let me make another one of these. So we'll start over here. Actually, I wanted to make more. I wanted to make more Mark III casting machines. Yeah, so let me pick these up. So what I'm going to do is over here, I'm going to convert this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to convert this to make iron plates from manganese and iron, as long as there's manganese available. And then if manganese is not available, make it from just iron by itself. Alright, so what I'm going to do is remove this. And we'll put the ingots in there. I've got steel ingots too for some reason. And then I'll just extend these belts. Like that. Okay, and then these are ready now, so we can put these in. And these are going to be iron plates. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to cut this belt so that the manganese runs out so that we can test this. And then here, I'll put a couple of underground belts so that we have room to put the combinators. All right, so I'll put one there, and I'll put one there. And you can see that it's... what happened here, the reason that you see these symbols is that because it's not receiving any signal, it cleared the recipe. And then the ingredients that were left over in the machine are now inside this crafting combinator. Let me see if I can make these a little bit closer. Yeah, I can. There we go. That way we can make these symmetrical. Okay, so they go inside the combinator, and that way, actually, that reminds me, I'm going to move this over here, and you'll see why in a minute. That way, when you change recipes, the ingredients that are no longer needed will come out. Now, in the options for these, you can, right now, by default, they act as an active provider, so they could be picked up. But since I'm not using bots here, I'd like to do something else. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell it to move excess items to regular chest. And you could also tell it just to destroy it. That way you don't have to deal with it. It'll also move modules if necessary. So for example, if you have productivity modules and then you go to make something that can't use productivity modules, they would need to come out of the machine. Okay, so I'm going to save that, and then hopefully I'll be able to copy those settings. Yes. Okay. And then I'm going to make 2 big chests. Actually, I'll make 4 because I want to do the same on the next one. And I'm going to do one for steel too. All right, and then I'm going to put that there. I'm going to put that one there. And then I'll just put 2 inserters. So that way when the ingredients go in here, they'll go into this big chest, which can then get picked up by this inserter and placed back in the machine. Because what I've seen is that they don't, well, let me test this. I think that once they go in the chest, they no longer will come out. Unless you use an inserter. But let's try it. All right. So I'm just going to put a combinator here to set the recipe. Now there's a new tab for crafting combinator recipes. So this is where you select the recipe you want. So in this case, I'm going to select molten iron 2. The second recipe is the one that uses manganese. And we can see that it's now set the recipe on this machine. Okay, so I should be able to put in the manganese. Let me take some of this out. Okay, so now it'll stop with 7 left in there. All right, so now if I change the recipe to molten iron 1, all right, now it continues to build. And we can see that there are iron and manganese ingots in there. And there's no way to access these, as far as I know, other than with bots and inserters. Okay, so that's going to continue to pick up. So let's take that so that it can run out. Actually, we don't need it to run out. All right, so now let's set it back to the recipe 2. All right, yeah, so it looks like whatever goes in there stays in there unless you take it out yourself. Otherwise, I would expect to see the manganese go in there and those icons disappear. All right, so if we put an inserter there, then the inserter will take them out. And then we can put another inserter there to put them back in. Like that. Okay. So, now the nice thing about this is that you can send this multiple different recipe signals, and it will choose the one with the highest value. So that, I believe, will make it a little bit easier to set this up without having to use lots of combinators for all the different possible, combinations of conditions. All right, so I'm going to use an arithmetic combinator here, and I'm going to read the contents of my manganese belt, which I'll take it from there. And I'll tell it to hold. Okay, so manganese coming in. And what I'll do is I'll just multiply the input by 1 because I essentially just wanted to pass it through. And then I'm going to output as the iron recipe number 2. Okay, so as long as there are more than one piece of manganese, I'll be getting a signal greater than 1. And actually, I'm going to move the pickup to there. Okay, that way it'll stay more consistent. Otherwise, when this inserter picks things off the belt, I don't want it to drop down to 1 or 0 and cause it to change recipes. Okay, and then this one I'm going to leave as a 1, and I'm going to put here molten iron 1 on that recipe. Okay, and then this output I put there. All right, and that way you can see here that it changed to 2 because the molten iron 2 recipe has a higher value than the molten iron 1 recipe. All right, now if we cut the manganese so that that belt clears, then we should see it change back to recipe number 1, which it did there. All right, and then the excess manganese goes in the chest. And then if we reintroduce it, it changes back to recipe 2. All right, so pretty cool. So what I'm going to do is copy, actually let's copy this minus the inserter. Okay, and then I'll put the manganese read signal there, and I can just copy that. So that's read and hold. Okay, so now this one is set to 2 as well. And then we can duplicate this same setup over here. And they'll actually be able to share the chest over there, which is pretty nice. All right, let's see. All right, that's weird. Oh, okay. No, that's right. All right, and then we'll read from there. Okay, so those are set to 2s as well. Okay, so as long as we have manganese, they'll use the manganese recipe. Now for steel, this will get a little more complicated because now crafting combinator is the one that I want. Oh, okay. I didn't realize those were ghosted. All right, I'll put it here. Oops. And then we set this to regular chest. All right, that I can remove. All right, and then in this case, I want the manganese to continue over. we're using a loader there. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to need, I think I'm going to need 2 combinators. Well, first let's set the base recipe. Okay. So the base recipe is going to be steel 1. Okay, so there's molten steel 1. All right. And then I'm going to need 2 combinators. All right, and this one will go with steel 2, and this one will go with steel 3. Okay. Now, steel 1. Steel, okay, steel 2 is the one that uses silicon. All right, so we want steel 2 uses silicon and steel 3 uses manganese. Right, so I want it to use the manganese anytime I have manganese available. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell this to multiply by 2. And the silicon to multiply by 1. So that way, if silicon and manganese belts are both full, it's still going to do the manganese first. Okay, so we'll read manganese on 3, and we'll read silicon on 2. Okay, and now we're using recipe 3, which uses manganese and steel. And let's cut this for a moment just to test it. Grab some steel out so that it starts to produce. Yeah, and we can see that now it's producing with silicon because there's no manganese. If we put the manganese back, it changes back to 3. Now, it's got some manganese in there, and I don't know why it didn't take them out. And if I pick this up, they're going to be destroyed. Steel and silicon. Okay. So I'm just going to pick that up and I'm going to place it down again. Oh, regular chest. Okay, seems to be working now. We'll see if the manganese ever comes out. Okay. Now let's see what else can we use manganese ingots for. We can use it for steel. All right, we can also use it for titanium. We can use it for iron. Oh, and we can use it for aluminum too. Okay. So let's also add this to our aluminum process. All right, so we'll make 2 more of the crafting combinators. I'll put those there. I'm going to set these to regular chests. And then we'll need big chests on either side. I'll have to move that power pole. Oh, that's a bummer. Okay. Where are they? All right. So I'll put those there, and then we just need 1 of each. All right. I had these down like that, right? Okay, so in this case, actually, I don't need 2 of these. I can do this with 1, can't I? All right, so this is going to be, I think, aluminum 1. Yeah, it's just aluminum 1 and aluminum 2. All right, so this will be molten aluminum 1, and this will output molten aluminum 2. Yeah, there we go. All right, now let's just ship some manganese over there. Okay. Knew that was going to happen. All right. All right, and then we'll read contents from there. All right, and then this should switch over to the manganese recipe. And it does. Okay. So now this is going to make 240 per 4 seconds. And this is going to use 40 per 4 seconds. Yeah, so I need to upgrade those to casting machine 3s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is pretty awesome. I'm getting a lot of productivity from the manganese. And I'm getting a lot more iron ore along with it. Speaking of which, let's see how we're doing. Okay, we're using pretty much all of it. At least the iron ore we are. Okay, no, we're starting to accumulate some here. So that's good. Okay, let's see. Here we go. And there. Might as well get some more aluminum while I'm here. Okay. So that all looks pretty good. And I think that's... Well, we can use some more when we get to making titanium. As a matter of fact, why don't we take a look at that? What it takes to make titanium. I'm going to start this over. Let's do this with casting machine 3s. Okay, so for molten titanium, we can use nickel. See, now in this case, I think I'm going to want to use nickel before I use manganese because I don't have any other use for nickel right now. Yeah, so let's use the recipe for nickel. All right, titanium ingots come from titanium sponges, whatever those are. Those are made with titanium tetrachloride, which we can make from titanium chlorine. Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm guessing the processed titanium is going to be a better recipe. Chlorine gas. Alright, processed titanium I can make simply from titanium ore. Alright, so that's how we're going to make titanium plates, which I would like to get to next. Because titanium is needed to make some of the more higher tech machines. Is that nickel? No, that's zinc. Zinc and tin. Okay. I think I'm not making nickel ingots yet, am I? I am not. Okay, so we're going to need a recipe for that too. All right, nickel cathodes, I'm sure is the more efficient recipe. All right, we'll need more sulfuric acid. Processed nickel. Okay. Chemical furnace Mark 1. What if that's a Mark 2? Okay, then I only need 1. I still need 2, so I'll use 1. Ore processing machine Mark 2s. Can I make ore processing machine Mark 3s yet? Let's take a look. No, I cannot. All right. So we'll leave those as 1s. That chemical furnace, that'll be a 2 and a 2. Okay, so that'll give us nickel ingots, titanium ingots, and then we can make titanium plates. And then we can also feed a line of magnesium over there to use that as well, if necessary. All right, so why don't we start with the nickel? see. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, and we're going to use 2 induction furnace Mark 1s. Can I make some? Yes, I can. And actually, if I had some circuits, I could make a single induction furnace Mark III instead. Yep. So let's do that. And let me see where I have nickel. Cobalt, aluminum, lead, tin. Iron, nickel. All right, nickel is this green stuff. Maybe I am making nickel ingots. Yes, I am making nickel ingots. That is wonderful. Okay. So, I don't need to make that part. And I'm not using the more efficient recipe, which I think is fine because I just want to get rid of the nickel. Okay. I still need to go to my train, though, to get the circuits. And this was for, yeah, an induction machine 3. I need... All right, yeah, I need basic electronic boards. Okay, and then we'll make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those. I need a blast furnace Mark 1. I need chemical furnace Mark 2. I need 2 chemical furnaces Mark 1, which require stone brick. And I need 2 processing machines. All right, and that's awesome that I have what I need to make all of those. The only thing I'm not sure about is getting chlorine over here. All right. So that'll be the outer edge. We'll have our casting machines right there. And these are going to be making titanium plates. 1, 2, 3. Like that. And then we'll have 1 Mark III machine. Okay, well, it can make from anything. I'll set it up. Well, let's just set it up with the crafting combinator to begin with. Okay, and then I'm going to need a big box. And set that to regular chest. All right, and then we'll set the baseline recipe to titanium 1. All right, and titanium 2 is the one that uses manganese, and titanium 3 is the one that uses nickel. All right, so I want the nickel to have a higher. Actually, I'm going to put these over here on the other side so they're not in the way. I want the nickel to have the higher value. Yeah. All right, so titanium 3 is the one that I want to multiply by 2, and that's going to be with nickel, and then that one will multiply by 1, and that'll be titanium 2, which uses manganese. Yeah, that's a little bit cleaner. Okay, and then I'll put that there, put that there. Okay, and this is set to 1 because there is nothing else coming in. Okay, so then we'll need to bring in 3 items. The titanium, the nickel. Which one's the nickel? This is the nickel. All right, so this will be for titanium. Yeah, so let's put a silo over here. Is that right? I want that to be, all right, take that out. And I think that is, yeah. Okay. So that's where the titanium will go in. I might have to move this depending on how much space I need to get the titanium ore going. Okay. And this will be the nickel. Okay. So nickel is going to go to this one. All right. And now this is taking in the nickel. All right. And then titanium. And then this one is going to be manganese. So let's get the manganese over there. Go 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so the manganese belt will go right about there. Yeah, I should really do these, do the spacing more consistently here. What do I have that manganese cathode for? There we go. Get rid of that. Don't really need it. Okay, and then I suppose we do this the messy way. Okay, so then we can see that in the presence of manganese and nickel, it'll continue to keep the recipe that uses nickel. All right, now let me get rid of this extra manganese that I'm holding on to. Okay, and let's get started with the titanium ingots and see if we can get that done. We're already kind of running late. All right, let's copy that. Okay, so the titanium is going to finish with a blast furnace Mark 1, which we can place right there. Like that. Okay, that's going to make titanium ingots. For the ingots, we need the sponges. So let's have a chemical furnace 2, making titanium sponge. All right, and that needs titanium tetrachloride, which is made with 2 regular chemical furnaces, which I think we can place like that. Titanium tetrachloride using chlorine gas and processed titanium. All right, let's get another power pole up here. Okay, and then for that we can just run a pipe. All right, and then the processed titanium, I think I'll run in from the side because we're running out of room here. And that'll be the chlorine gas. Yeah, so we'll do it. Yeah, actually I don't need that underground at all. Let's see. Oh, and those need carbon as well. Okay, so we can put the processed titanium and the carbon on a shared belt. All right, and for the processed titanium, we'll do this. Fast inserter, yeah. Outputs, looks like we can use slow inserters on the output. And probably on the inputs as well, yeah. Okay, and then we can bring carbon there. And I think I'm bringing carbon over here, right? Yes, I do have carbon. That is coke. Here is the carbon. I need to get some going that way. Here's carbon. All right, move that over 1. Yeah, there we go. All right, and then I can use it to feed this guy. Okay. Where else do we need the carbon? Down here. Okay, now I kind of wish... Alright, here's what we can do. We'll go near, near. Okay. And then we need to bring titanium up there. So let's find out where I have the titanium. Titanium is stored over here. All right, so let's set this to titanium ore. And I think I'll bring it over this way. There. Okay. Now I just need chlorine gas, which is a problem I was having earlier. Let's take a look at chlorine. How can I get free chlorine gas without creating stuff that I have to destroy? Yeah, the only way I can get chlorine is if I make sodium hydroxide or if I bring it in barrels. This is when I wish we had some way to get rid of material. So I've got sodium hydroxide like crazy over here. Is there any other use of sodium hydroxide? Oh yeah, there's lots of uses. Let's see if there's a way that I can destroy it somehow. Well, let's just make a bunch of sodium hydroxide and put it in a warehouse. All right, chlorine from saline water. Okay, I only need one electrolyzer. That's good. And then the hydrogen will gas out. And then the saline, I can either bring in by train or I can just make it. Yeah, let's see here. This is the closest water. Okay, I already have a water line. All right, yeah, I'll just make it. Okay, so I need an electrolyzer. And I need a salination plant. And that's it. Oh, and okay, yeah, and I already have a flare stack. All right, you need to move over. All right, and I am going to make a non-return valve And I'm going to make a small tank. I thought I had one of these already. I guess I don't. All right, and then I should have a pump coming out. Okay. Where's my salination plant? No, I need the electrolyzer. All right, let's see where the chlorine's going to go. Okay, great. And then I'll put a flare stack where the hydrogen goes. Okay, and then a salination plant up here. Okay, and then I just need to get it water. And then we will be in business. Nice. Oh, and I got a good tip that said to make brass pipes instead of bronze pipes because they're longer and they cost about the same. All right, saline water. There we go, chlorine gas. All right, if I use a silo, it'll be smaller. There we go. So we're going to be making lots and lots of sodium hydroxide. And hopefully at some point I'll have a use for it. Okay. And now I have titanium plates, which is fantastic. Now where do I want those to go? That's lead, bronze, and I also have solder here. So let's label that. So I think I could put titanium plates in the same one. I think we're doing 4 in each one. Yep. So I'll put titanium in here. Tin plate. No, I already have tin plate. All right, yeah, so this will be titanium plate, which is right there. Okay, so we're already over time, so I'll finish taking care of that offline. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. Appreciate it as always, and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.